Hey guys, Metal Driver here, bringing you another AEW Unrivaled review. Today, I'll be looking at Series 3, Pac. On the side of the box you see the AEW logo and an image of Pac. On the back of the box you see another image of Pac, his signature, the event in which this picture was taken, All Out. Date, August 31st, 2019 in Chicago, Illinois. Then at the bottom of the box you see the rest of the figures that are in this wave. Alright, so if you have watched my MJF review, I mentioned in that video that Ringside still hadn't shipped out my second half of my Series 2 figures, which consisted of Lucha Brothers and Dustin Rhodes. But as of yesterday, I did receive that order in the mail, so not only will I be reviewing Pac, but I'll also be reviewing Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix, the Lucha Brothers, in this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open these figures up and take a closer look at the Death Triangle. Alright, and here we have Pentagon Jr., the Bastard Pac, and Rey Fenix, the Death Triangle, out of the packaging. But before we take a look at the figures, let's go ahead and look at the accessories that they come with. Alright, so Rey Fenix doesn't come with any accessories, but Pentagon Jr. does come with an interchangeable right gripping hand. Now, the Lucha Brothers originally were supposed to come with several different hands and also interchangeable head sculpts. However, the final product omitted those accessories. And then Pac comes with an interchangeable head sculpt and a black folding chair. Alright, and here is the chair. It's pretty much very similar to what we've seen before in different wrestling companies. Not a whole lot you could do with a folding chair, although this one doesn't seem to fold properly. It comes off this peg pretty easily, but it's still nice that we have this. Then the extra head sculpt that Pac comes with is this one with his hair in his face, which looks really nice. It's not exactly accurate because, as you can see, the back of his hair is much longer, so this front part should be a lot longer than what it is. They did cut this in half, so that's a bit annoying, although the detailing under the hair looks pretty good. Paint came out really well on the head. The eyes, the lips look pretty good. And then you can pop this on the figure. It does pop off pretty easily. Let's see if it pops on easily as well. Yep. Not too bad. So that's how it looks on the figure. Looks really good in my opinion. Again, it would have been better if the hair was longer in the front, but it's not too bad looking. Alright, then taking a look at the default head sculpt that has his hair out of his face. Now, a lot of people complain that this wasn't a good head sculpt when the photos were first released. I personally think it looks much better in person. I was not impressed when I saw the photos, but having this figure in hand, it does look a lot better. It does look like Pac in my opinion, although I will say that the Mattel version does have a better likeness. But aside from that, the sculpting is good. The paint came out really well on the figure. The eyes are painted well, so are the eyebrows. The lips look good. The beard is painted well. It's just a little bit of missing paint right here by the lip on that mustache part. The hair is sculpted really nicely. Really love how this looks. And then you can see his shaved head underneath some of the open parts of the hair. So that looks really good. Alright, then look at Rey Fenix's head sculpt. The head is sculpted really well. The mask looks really good. The paint came out very well on this mask. I think Jazzwares did a fantastic job on how this looks. The paint on the lips looks okay, it's just some slight sloppiness here. The eyes look pretty decent, but the mask, to me, is the most important part, and that does look really good, especially with the paint, so nice job. Just a little bit of black right here on the white part, but not a big deal. Then looking at Pentagon Jr., this head sculpt looks really good as well. Now I know some people complained that they had hoped that this one would have had a second head sculpt like in the original promo pictures of the prototype figure. Some people have complained that they wish that they would have gotten that alternate head sculpt instead of this tongue one. I'm not too bothered by this. I think this looks really good. The head sculpt is painted very well, nicely detailed. The line work looks really good on all the white parts of the mask. There's not a whole lot of fuzziness at all. So I think Jazzwares did a fantastic job on this mask and head sculpt. Alright, then taking a look at the body on Pac. Not a whole lot of paint. His flesh tone looks really good. He does have the upper part of the biceps painted in black for his armband here. Now, what I really love about this body is that I think it has the perfect size and definition for Pac. He's a really muscular and ripped guy. I don't think the Mattel Elite body was a good fit for that figure, but this one, I think Jazzwares nailed this upper body likeness. So really awesome job on this body. Really love how this turned out. Look at the trunks. He's got black, some light grays and dark grays. Paint looks good for the most part. Nothing too major as far as mispaint goes. Really like how this looks. Then his knee pads, painted really well. Let's get that similar design to the trunks. Got a light gray here. You got some black above the knee pads. Painted well. Also, just a little bit of fuzzy work here. Not a big deal. And his boots look really good. So overall, a really solid looking figure. Alright, then looking at Rey Fenix's body. Now, both of the Lucha brothers have a lot of paint applications on the figure. So looking at the upper body, he's got all these tattoos all over. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail of every single tattoo. But just looking at it, the paint came out very well. The line work looks really good on the designs and all the different letterings. Just a really amazing job that Jazzwares did with the paint apps here. Really awesome. Does seem to be some missing paint here. I don't think that's how it's supposed to be on these marks. Got some lettering here, I'm assuming in Japanese. If not, please correct me in the comments. Some more lettering here on the forearm. Really awesome job. I think the paint apps on the tattoos on this figure looks incredible. Then looking at the lower body, he's got his black tights and these white and silver designs. Here all the line work looks really good. Nice crisp lines, no mispaint, no fuzzy paint. Maybe just a little bit right here by the hip. Same thing on this side, but overall really good looking. His knee pads look really good. Looks like it says Mexiking here. So lettering looks good. Then you've got this bird here, this phoenix. Paint looks really good. All over the figure. Ton of paint work. This would have been easy to kind of mess up and make a lot of mistakes, but Jazzwares really nailed it. They've got some white designs, some flames on the shoes. So a really awesome job here. Alright, then finally looking at Pentagon Jr. So, body looks really good. The white line work looks really good as well. So no mispaint, no sloppiness, no fuzziness. There does appear to be some extra white residue from the paint on the chest, on the black parts here. Not a big deal. The back looks really good. Again, I like how the white looks, especially how the coat of paint doesn't look too thin. It looks just right in my opinion. Then looking at his tattoos on his arms, really well done, good paint work, some nice colors, no missing paint, no fuzzy work, no splotches. Really amazing job. And then looking at the other arm, same thing, the tattoos look amazing. Again, as I said with Rey Fenix, I think Jazzwares did an amazing job on the paint work, especially on the tattoos. Then here you got this plastic flap here, similar to what martial artists wear. Usually when I see this, I think of Mortal Kombat. The white looks really good, good paint work. I keep saying that on these figures in this review, but honestly, I think this is really well done. Same thing here on the legs. Really happy with how this turned out. I know a lot of times with my Mattel figures, I get figures that are good and I get a lot of figures that are bad. So far, my luck with these AEW figures have been really good. There is some sloppiness here. Looks like some missing paint on this white line. But other than that, everything else is good. These designs down here look excellent. Some good paint work and on the shoes. So really fantastic job that Jazzwares did on all three of these figures. Alright then, going over the articulation. So on pack, the head is on a ball joint and a hinge, so it can look slightly up. Not too far up actually, due to the plastic of the hair. Can look further down, which is nice. Its head can turn side to side and it can tilt. Shoulder has a hinge, which allows it to go that high up. It can rotate all the way around. There's a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows, great range of motion, swivel and hinge at the wrist, ball joint at the upper diaphragm, which allows him to crunch that far forward, that far back. He actually can't really pivot, but he can turn side to side. Then there's a ball joint at the waist, which allows him to crunch even further forward, further back, twist side to side. Ball joints at the hips, which allow the legs to go that far out. It can go that high up. There's a thigh cut, double jointed knees. There's no cut at the boot, but the ankle does have a hinge, which allows it to go that high up, that far down, and he has great ankle pivot. Alright, and then for the articulation on the Lucha Brothers, I'm gonna go fast on this because it's pretty much all the same points of articulation, but let's just go over it just to see how the range of motion is. The head can go that far up and down, can twist side to side. Pretty good hinge at the shoulder, rotate all the way around, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, good swivel and hinge here, yep. Can crunch that far forward, back, twist side to side. Does have much better pivot though here. Another ball joint at the waist, really good range. Hips can go that far out, that high up, that's actually better than Pac's. Thigh cut. Double jointed knees. He has a cut at the boot, which Pac does not have. Hinge here doesn't really go that high up. can go further down, and great ankle pivot. Alright, then Rey Fenix can look that far up, that far down, turn side to side, tilt a little bit. There's a hinge there, rotate all the way around, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, great range of motion, swivel, hinge at the wrist, can go that far forward, not a whole lot at the upper diaphragm, that far back, can twist, there is slight pivot, you can twist at the waist, it's a bit crunchy there, you can go further forward, at the waist, further back, legs go that far out, that high up, thigh cut, double jointed knees, it is hindered by that knee pad, cut at the boot, can go that high up, that far down, and great ankle pivot. Alright, and here is the Bastard Pack, next to the two Mattel Neville figures. Then here is Pack next to Moxley, Kenny Omega, and Darby Allin. And here we have the Lucha Brothers next to Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, and Darby Allin. And finally, here are the Lucha Brothers next to the Series 3 Young Bucks figures. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on the Death Triangle figures? Well, despite the online complaints from several collectors, I think Pac isn't really as bad as it looks, especially in person. I think Pac is a great figure. It's definitely one you'd want to add to your collection. Unless you really don't like the head sculpt, then by all means keep the Mattel version. Me personally, I think this one is better. You've got better articulation, and his upper body is more accurate, in my opinion. And then for the Lucha Brothers, I think that's an obvious pickup. If you're a fan of AEW, I don't see why you would want to miss out on these. They're excellent, they're very well executed, the paint apps are amazing, articulation is great. Yes, it sucks that they don't come with the extra head sculpts and extra hand accessories, but I still think they're amazing. I think all three figures are figures you're going to want to pick up, and that way you can complete your Death Triangle set. So if you like this review, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe so you can see more AEW Unrivaled reviews. Follow me on social medias and keep up to date with all my wrestling figure photography. As always, stay tuned till the end to see pictures of these figures in action, and I'll see you next time.